Hi guys, this is part 2 in making a top-down tank shooting game in Scratch. So if you haven't seen part 1 yet, make sure you check it out. Link is on the description below. So on my last video I showed you how to code our player and how to code our scrolling infinite BG and our player projectiles. And on this video I'll be showing you how to code our enemies, enemy projectiles, and our HP. So let's get started. So first I'll be showing you how to code our enemies. So click on enemies and make sure you upload the sprites in order. So it's first the tank dot, the black tank, then the green tank, the red tank, and the white tank. So make sure you upload them in order. And now click on player and go for variables, and let's make a list called enemy X for all sprites, enemy Y for all sprites, enemy direction for all sprites, and enemy type for all sprites. And when define reset, we need to delete all of enemy X, Y, type, and direction. So okay, now click on enemies and click on my blocks, and let's make a block called position. Add an input X and Y. Click OK. So we need to go to X and Y and grab it. So if our X is equal to X position and Y is equal to Y position, then we need to show L type, and we need to go forward one layer and grab a when I receive tick. We need to set our brightness effect to 0 and position, grab a minus. So let's make a variable for X for this sprite only, Y for this sprite only. So X minus scroll X and duplicate, and Y minus scroll Y. Then we need to switch costume to, let's make a new variable called asset for this sprite only. And grab if, so if asset is lesser than 5, then we need to point towards player and turn 90 degrees, negative 90 degrees. So make sure your costumes is facing downwards. So if it's facing upwards, then you need to change this to 90 degrees. So grab if, duplicate, grab another if statement. So if touching player projectiles, player projectile. Then we need to make a variable called enemy HP for this sprite only. We need to change enemy HP by -1 and set our brightness effect to 25 and grab another if statement. So if grab a O, so O grab a lesser than, so if enemy HP is lesser than 1, grab another greater than, so grab ABS, so ABS of scroll X is greater than 2000, or duplicate this and change this to scroll Y. ABS of scroll Y is greater than 2000. O enemy HP is lesser than 1. Let's make a block called reset. This will reset all. Reset. And grab another if statement. So if grab a lesser than, grab sqrt, take a plus operator and a times operator, so a minus and a minus. So if, and we round this thing, round sqrt of x of player, change this to player and change this to x of player minus x, and duplicate x times x of player minus x plus, and just duplicate this and change this to y of player and y is lesser than, grab the times, so asset times 250. So make sure you place these blocks correctly. Then we need to change our x by, so this will make our enemy follow the player. Grab a round, grab a divide, so 2 times operators, so asset times 20, you need to divide by x of player times x. It should be minus. Just duplicate this and duplicate, and we need to change our y by y of player minus y times asset times 20. So grab another if statement. So if equals, just equals 1. Grab a mode, so a plus and a times. So if tick plus 4 times asset mode assets times 20 equals 1, then we need to make a block called shoot. Shoot. So okay, now let's define this reset block. So we need to set our X to pick random from -2000 to 2000. So duplicate set Y and grab if. So if enemy HP is lesser than 1, then we need to change HP by 1, then change our score by 100. And we need to broadcast hit and set our enemy HP to assets times 1. Asset plus 1. And then we need to define, let's make a new block called clone at the input X, Y, label, type, and the input called type. So click OK, and then we need to set our X to X and our Y to Y, and set asset to type, and set our enemy HP to assets plus 1. Okay, this. Then we need to create clone of myself, and then we need to set our X to X to, it's like 8 2 3 4 5. So I'll zoom it so you can see it. So you make sure you set X to the value here. You need to type 2 3 4 5 8 times. So right, and now when I receive clear, we need to delete this clone, and when I receive so define shoot, we need to add round X to enemy X, duplicate Y, enemy Y, duplicate asset to enemy type, and round direction to enemy direction. And then we need to change enemies by 1 and create clone of enemy projectiles. This will make it shoot enemy projectiles. And when I receive setup, we need to repeat 7, grab a clone at, so pick random from -2000 to 2000, duplicate, type 4, so duplicate and change to type 3, duplicate 2 and 1. So these are pre-made clones. So I'll clean up the blocks. So okay, now let's test our enemies. So now we can see our enemies appear and other enemies follow the player. So you can see if the player shoots, our enemy dies. So okay, our enemies work. So now I'll be showing you how to code our enemy projectiles. So let's get started. So okay, now click on enemy projectiles and make sure you upload in this order. So it's black, green, red and the white one. And now when I receive clear, first we need to delete these clones and let's make a block, define, make a block position X and Y, grab this define, go to X and Y, grab a if, so if our X is equal to X position and Y is equal to Y position, then we need to show, else we need to hide, and we need to go forward 1 layer, and when I receive tick, let's make 2 new variables for this sprite only called X and Y. When I receive tick, we need to position from a minus, so X minus scroll X minus Y minus scroll Y. And then we need to change our X by, let's make a new variable called X12 for this square only and Y12 for this square only. Change our X by X12 and change our Y by Y12. And if touching player, we need to change HP by -1 and delete this clone. and grab if. So if our, let's make a new variable called hit time for this spread only. So if hit times is lesser than 1, then we need to delete this clone and grab another if statement. So if touching bushes, so we haven't called our bushes yet, we need to change enemy projectiles hit time by -1. We need to set x to 214, 1234 and 134, and set our y to 999999, and let's make a new block called setup. Run with our screen refresh. So define setup, we need to set x to, grab item, so item enemies, enemy x, duplicate y, enemy y, and we need to switch costume to duplicate enemy type and point in direction, duplicate enemy direction, and we need to position x minus scroll x and y minus scroll y. So x minus scroll x and y minus scroll y, and we need to set our x value to grab a times, so times 5, grab a minus, so x of player minus x times 5. So duplicate this, set our y value to y of player minus y times 5, and grab a repeat until grab a lesser than, so 25, grab a ABS and change this to SQRT, or grab a plus and a times, so xvel times xvel plus yvel times yvel is lesser than 25, then we need to set our xvel to xvel times 0.95, and duplicate, set our yvel to yvel, and then we need to change x by xvel and change our y by yvel. And grab when I start as a clone block, so when I start as a clone, set hit time to 2, and then we need to set up, wait 3 seconds, and delete this clock. And now click on player and define dead. So go for define dead, and we need to broadcast a message called dead, and we need to repeat 5. Next costume, we need to wait like 0.01 seconds, and then we need to hide. So these are the 5 explosion costumes. So okay, now let's test our enemy projectiles. So now you can see our enemy could shoot. So our enemy projectile works. And our player jet animation also works. And make sure your enemy projectiles are facing downwards. So okay, our enemy projectiles work. So now I'll be showing you how to code our player HP. So click on HP and name it as HP display, and make sure you upload the costumes. So the first costume should be the life, and it's 0 to 10. Make sure you name the costume name to the numbers 0, 1, 2 until 10. And when I receive start game, we need to set, let's make a new variable called ID for this file only. Set ID to 0. So create clone of myself, set ID to 1. And when I receive check, we need to show, go forward 1 layer and set our brightness effect to 0. And grab if statement. So if ID equals 0, be if else. So if ID equals 0, then we need to switch costume to light and set our X to -210. So the position may differ, so make sure you enter the correct position and duplicate and switch costume to plus HP plus 2 and set our X to -154, and we'll change our Y by divide and a minus, divide by 3, 150 minus Y position. And then when I receive dead, if ID equals 1, we need to switch costume to 0. So when I receive hit, we need to set our brightness effect to 25 and change our Y by 10. So this will make like a jumping effect. So okay, now let's test our HP display. So now you can see our HP display appears, and so our HP decreases when we get hit, and our HP increases when we destroy an enemy tank. So our HP works. So that's it for part 2, and my next video I'll be showing you how to code the bushes, the scope, and our thumbnail, and add some sound effects. So if you like this video, please make sure to give it a like, subscribe, and share. So see you in part 3 in making a top-down shooter game on Scratch.